Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Zenington, and welcome to today's video for Legends of Runeterra. Today, what are we doing today? We got cards. That's it. That's all we got today. We got cards that have been spoiled today for the upcoming set for Legends of Runeterra, Forces from Beyond. Another variety day. We got what? I believe we got some Shen support, some Demacia cards, a Demacia card, PNZ, and some Targan stuff. But yeah, no new champion, no new keyword, all just mechanics and stuff we already have had. But unlike yesterday, some of these cards I actually think might be playable and actually strong. Do I think any of these are going to break the meta and become a top tier part of a top tier strategy? Not by themselves. I could see them fitting into strong decks, but not being the core piece of those strong decks. So I believe it's only 5 cards with a couple more of those husks that are most likely going to be made from Evelyn. So probably not going to be too long of a video. But let's go and look at the revealed cards really quickly. So what do we have here? First off, so yeah, Demacia card, 2 Ionia cards, a PNZ card, a Targan card, and 2 husks. We'll talk about the husks a little bit at the end, but let's start with the Demacia card. Royal Decree. 3 mana focus speed spell. Grant an ally +2/+2 and challenger this round. Or give an ally, not grant. Or if you want to, you can summon an Honored Lord. Honored Lord is the 2 mana 3/2. I believe he's also an elite. He says if he challenges something for the first time, he gets barrier. So, you know, it actually kind of synergizes with Honored Lord himself. So if you have 2 of these, you can use the first one to summon Honored Lord, use the second one to buff Honored Lord and give him barrier. Kind of cute. So about this card, what do I think about it? I think it is very average. I don't think this card is strong. I don't think this card is weak. I think this is a solid filler card, which you play like 1 to 2 of in certain Demacia decks, but I don't see this card being a wow, if you're playing this archetype, you're always going to play 3 of, etc., etc. Like, I can see like Bard Demacia. You use this to both buff Bard and remove annoying things. Bard gets a quote-unquote free attack because he gets to pull in something that is either weak or a backline unit, or you can just use it as removal. Demacia, though, already kind of had removal, though, like smaller removal like this, in the form of single combat. So here's the thing. Do you play this over single combat? No, you don't play this over single combat. If your deck's already playing single combat, you're just going to keep playing single combat because one of the strengths of single combat is it's fast, ghost blocking, life stealers, etc., etc. I feel like you want to play this in more tempo-y, more aggressive decks where you want to be the one pushing in damage. You want to be the one asking the question. So maybe as a one of in Scouts. The problem with this card in Scouts is a fairly mana-intensive deck already, mana-hungry deck. They're very much wanting to curve out. They can barely bank 2 mana, I would say. They struggle with that. I've seen some people say, would you play this over Sharp Sight? I would not, especially for Scouts. I think the strength of Sharp Sight in Scouts is being used defensively to keep your key units alive, like Misfortune. So yeah. Not much to talk about with this card. It's just okay. It's like it's got a nice backup plan if you just have no good unit to buff. So you can just summon an Honored Lord, or if you just have no unit at all, you can summon an Honored Lord. Focus speed is nice too, because so your opponent can't really do anything about it. They can't counter it. So that's nice and all, but it's just average. It's just mid, really, I guess is the best way to put it. It's like, sure, I'll play like 1, maybe 2 in Bard Demacia, maybe Tarek Poppy, maybe just, you know, Demacia mid-range, in other words. Especially if you have Demacia mid-range with really nice units like Bard, or if it ever comes back, Radiant Guardian. Granted, I'd rather play single combat with Radiant Guardian, though. Anyway, let's go look at the next card. Moral Support. 4 mana burst speed spell, costs 2 less if you have supported an ally this game. Give an ally barrier this round. So it's prismatic barrier. It's an overcosted prismatic barrier that can be undercosted if you activate the condition. Prismatic Barrier is a very good example of a card that, in my opinion, is very fringe playable. Ever since they added Demacia Tellstones, though, I'd rather just play Demacia Tellstones now. But Prismatic Barrier is almost a playable card. Is Prismatic Barrier for 2 mana in Ionia playable? Yes. Sure, there's so much protection now, though. You're going to have a hard time choosing exactly what you want as your protection spells between Syncopation, Counter Magics, Twin Disciplines, etc., etc. But it's still a very good option to choose from. And plus, it does help to level up Shen quicker. The only problem is you need to get the support clause. If you haven't supported anything, then this card sucks. It's a 4 mana Spirit Refuge or Riposte or whatever, without the other upside. And the problem with that is in Shen Demacia, Shen is the only support card. You might say, like, you could play Esmus, you could play... Yeah, Esmus puts you in Targon, though, and you're not Shen Demacia. You could play War Chefs, sure, but War Chefs isn't great right now. So I'm thinking, like, maybe Shen Taric, Shen Lulu. Shen Lulu's kind of cute because she's also a multi-region champ, so you could still be in, like, Demacia, Shen Lulu Demacia, instead of playing J4 or something else. So maybe in that deck, like, and then Shen Taric gives you access to Esmus, who's also support, but I don't know. I'm just not sure about this card. I can't remember picks. I don't remember if Pix is Bandle City or Ionia. I'm pretty sure Pix is only an Ionia card, but I'm not 100% certain on that. And there are other support cards like Trevor's Snooze Bottom, so maybe you could go a little more aggressive with this card and be like Shen Zed Trevor's Snooze Bottom. But I don't think that seems good. But yeah, just like the previous card, it just seems like an okay card, just a 1 of... maybe a 2 of in certain decks, especially Shen decks, but it's whatever. Combos well with the next card, though. Kinku Student. 2 mana 3/1. When another ally gets barrier, give me barrier this round if I don't have it. Here's the problem. I don't think this card is good. I think you'd rather be doing other things on 2 mana, and the biggest problem I have is this card is really, really fragile. Sure, it getting barrier does help to level up the Shen that much faster, but it has 1 health for a 2-drop. I feel like 2-drops with 1 health need to do something big. Either give you value right away, or be like really, really powerful in terms of just sticking around. Like Boom Baboon. Boom Baboon is a 3/1, but it gives you a Flame Chompers, which is also a good card on its own. This thing doesn't really do that. Sure, you can say like, oh, they'll waste removal and you barrier. I guess you could argue that, but at least in this meta, there's so many pings right now. Vile Feast, Make It Rain, Pokey Stick, etc., etc. It just feels like this card will not survive even with the barrier clause on top of it. So, I don't know. I really feel like this card is just here to help level up Shen that much faster, so yeah, like outside of Shen decks, the card is garbage, so this is purely for Shen, which it's obvious because like this card and the previous one both have Shen in the art. So yeah, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of this card, and I do like Shen decks. I'm more of a Shen Demacia player when I do play Shen, like Shen Fiora, Shen J4. I'd rather just be playing like challengers and stuff to set up my future barrier givers, like my Bright Seal Protectors and my Shen himself, than this. So yeah, not a big fan of it. Now the next card. Scavenged Camo Cloaker. 3 mana burst speed spell. Grant an ally elusive and Nexus Strike, draw 1. This is permanent. Both of these buffs are permanent. We have a card that's pretty much like this. Sumpwork Maps. Sumpwork Maps is a 2 mana burst speed spell, grant an ally elusive. So for an extra mana, we're getting the Nexus Strike, draw 1 clause added on. I'm not a fan of this. What deck wants this? The only card I could see you putting this on and liking it, I guess, would be Fizz. Because Fizz is already really just annoying. You don't have to spend a spell every turn to activate Fizz and give him elusive. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this card. I will say the nicest thing about this card is its mana cost. It is relatively cheap. It can be casted with only spell mana, and it can be found off of Conchologist, so PNZ Bandle City Shellfolk, like a Fizz Victor, maybe Victor Vi. But like, yeah, giving this to Vi is also pretty nice too. But I don't know. I just really don't like Sumpwork maps, and this is pretty much just Sumpwork maps, but with a little extra tacked on. And I just don't like Sumpwork maps. Like, sure, I don't know, giving this ability to Victor is nice too, but Victor's already a premium removal sponge, and you're just making him even more so of a target for removal. So yeah, I don't know. And I feel like most good decks have a way to deal with elusives, at least in the current meta, because elusive nonsense is kind of a solid strategy thanks to Ahri right now, Bard Ahri. And whether that's through either their own elusives like Esmus and other things, challengers, kill spells, etc., etc., I'm just not seeing this. Like, you need to get 2 strikes to be happy, I feel, to play this card. 2 Nexus Strikes. I guess you could also say, like, maybe putting it on Rumble because of Rumble's impact. Like, putting this on a unit with impact's kind of cute too, but again, you're asking for a lot there, and I just feel like if you try to do all of this cute stuff, you'll just get run over by an aggro deck or a mid-rangey deck or a papercraft deck. And yes, there's the mid-and-stock henchman with this, which is whatever. I'm like, yeah, cool, whatever. Now the final card, that's not a token, that's not a husk, Mikhails Blessing. I have no idea how to pronounce it. I'm going to keep saying Mikhail unless someone corrects me. I'm pretty sure it's not Michael, so I'm going to just say Mikhail. But Mikhails Blessing, 3 mana burst speed spell. This one actually has me a little excited. Grant an ally +1/+2, and then remove all negative keywords from it. So that means things like, I believe, stun and silence. I'm pretty sure silence is a negative keyword. I think it also removes stun, which is kind of cute. What else is there? Ephemeral's nice. And that's the one I'm thinking of, Ephemeral. Thresh Aurelion Soul is a very, very off-meta deck, and honestly kind of bad. However, if you go towards more of a Spectral Matron and less control form of Thresh A Soul, maybe this can work. You use, like... Also, someone just followed. Thank you, whoever followed. But yeah, you use Oblivious Islanders to cheapen out the Matron, and then you Matron out Aurelion Soul. Of course, you would have 3 mana Bank too. You would use Mikhails Blessing to remove the Ephemeral from Aurelion Soul, which is not a bad strategy. Here's the problem with that kind of strategy. A few things. One, you're not actually playing Aurelion Soul, so you're not actually getting the Celestial. So that's kind of bad. 2, it's not that hard to remove Aurelion Soul nowadays. So yeah, I guess you could also argue you don't have to go for Aurelion Soul. I mean, you don't have to go for just Aurelion Soul, Spectral Matron Aurelion Soul, Mikhails Blessing. You can play other things in the deck too, like Darkwater Scourge, the 3 mana 5/5 lifesteal Ephemeral. You could even use Fading Memories to copy some certain cards, like copying, I don't know, Solari Priestess or Darkwater Scourge itself, or enemy units too. I'm pretty sure you can Fading Memories enemy stuff. Can't remember, it's actually been a while since I played that card. I think only the PNZ copy card can Iterative Improvement, but I haven't played that card in forever. You can play Stalking Shadows and remove the ephemeral off of the second, or the ephemeral copy from Stalking Shadows. So I feel like that's the way you got to play this card. Also kind of a nice card from Shelf Oak 2. And the other thing is, it's a permanent buff. Like, that's the other thing. At first, I saw this card and I wasn't too excited. I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, removing Ephemeral's cute. Like, Spectral Matron Aurelion Soul's cute. But then I was like, well, it is a permanent buff. The permanent buff is what makes me really like this card. Like, Darkwater Scourge, Mikhails Blessing, you have a 6/7 life stealer on turn 3 if you bank 3 mana by turn 3 as well. So I'm actually considering building that deck, like Thresh Aesol with 3 Darkwater Scourges, 3 Spectral Matrons, 3 Mikhails Blessing, some Fading Memories, some Stalking Shadows, maybe Oblivious Islanders, and then like maybe a trifecta, some Solari Priestesses, Fangs, maybe Star Shaping if I really have room. But yeah, I feel like that might be a good deck, or at least it helps Thresh Aesol. I feel like that will be... that version of Thresh Aesol will be better than the more control version we have now, because control is kind of sad, in all honesty. But yeah, and just besides the whole, like, usefulness in the deck itself, if you build towards it, like we would build with Ephemerals, you can also use it to remove silences, which is kind of nice. Remove stuns too. Its burst speeds too, so you can do that. It seems good. It seems solid. But yeah, I think this could definitely birth maybe a new deck, or at least like give new life to older decks like Thresh Aesol, basically. So I'm a little hyped to build with this. Like, this card right now, out of every single card we've seen, even Kaisa, even Champions, this card is the card that I'm looking forward to playing with. Maybe Gwen, maybe Evelyn will give me some more happiness and hype, but for now, this is it. Kaisa, not so much, because Kaisa is mostly just a quick attack, mid-range thing. And then, of course, our last couple of cards, we got Hardy Husk and Fading Husk, 2 more of these husks, the Demacia Husk and the Ionia Husk. One of them is tough, and the other one is elusive, so a lot of people were actually worried about if they were going to give one elusive, and their worries have come true. The Ionia Husk has elusive, so that might be very, very scary and annoying, depending on just how you get these husks. Demacia not having Scout's kind of nice, unless they give Bilgewater Scout, but I really feel like they'll give a Bilgewater Husk Overwhelm. So I think we still have 4 more regions that don't have husks. I believe there is, Shadow Isles, which might not even get a husk because spooky stuff. Bandle City, Bilgewater, and I'm forgetting one. PNZ. I believe so. So yeah, like PNZ, I don't know what PNZ could have. Maybe Quick Attack, probably. I don't think we have any with Quick Attack yet. Bandle City might just be Impact, sadly. I doubt we're going to get any lifesteal ones, so that's a little sad. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys like the cards as well. Some pretty good, solid cards here. Better than yesterday's cards, I would definitely say. And I'd love to hear your ideas with these cards. Maybe you are thinking of something you can do with Scavenged Camo Cloaker that I can't think of, or same with Mikhails Blessing that I haven't mentioned. I'd love to hear it down in the comments below. And if you guys just enjoy the video in general, I'd love it if you could leave a like or a comment down below. Always helps me and the channel out. And if you guys want to keep up with the Legends of Runeterra content, you can always go and subscribe to the channel as well. And if you want to watch me play some Legends of Runeterra, you can go and check me out over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Xanaton, where I stream pretty much every single day. Anyway, though, with that all said and done, thank you all once more for watching this video, and until I see you guys in the next one, bye!